Hey everyone, here just doing a video for the new marathon update, so let's hop on in. What's up, guys? Just going over the new marathon update that came out yesterday. I think today Cryo Archive might have already been unlocked. What I read was that we had to kill 500 million bots. And so I think we're at 300 million, so there's 200 million to go. So if you're out there, do kill some bots. We got to do that to get into Cryo, unless it's already unlocked. Then in that case, go figure out Cryo. Which the devs did release another note today saying that it is the pinnacle of a challenge. Even if you have a full kit with full consumables and shield and everything, it will still be a difficult challenge. Which is just awesome to hear that there's difficult stuff like that in the game. So let's hop into it. I will I don't think I need to go into it too much. We're already like a day behind, so I'm not going to waste too much time on some of the stuff that's more niche or doesn't apply to everyone. I'm going to kind of go over some of the big hit points and the stuff that I noticed playing yesterday as well. There's some item economy. There's new random rolled implants. A few of them are pretty cool. You get a cardio kick while at low health, and you're using a consumable for panic. Freeloader, a knife attack grants a small amount of tactical and prime energy. Some stuff like that. Punishment, Testament, Hurricane, and then a change to sponsored kits in the Cryo specifically. Just cool ones there. This one seems pretty broken. While airborne, this weapon has increased stability and greatly reduced accuracy penalties. So that's like Trick Shot City is that implant. Combat players can now exfil even while they're downed. The camera doesn't shake as much. The camera is increased to 120 seconds after you die. The finisher had like an issue. It was butting up against the self revive. And then this, yeah, revive timer, abilities were desyncing. The hacked status, when you like go over a tripwire, that won't be as encumbersome now. That will just it won't like dial you into where you can only see this much of the screen. You'll be able to see more of the screen still. And then the overall effect that's on you is less. Assassin had an issue with its puck that it would throw. The thief got a few nerfs to the drone. Not anything crazy, just more like it can't hit people while they're in exfil. A button layout issue, and then grappling. But I can foresee a drone nerf coming at some point. The drone's pretty strong. Triage had a overheating issue during clicking its V. It's one of its abilities, which you probably shouldn't be clicking that if you're that close to it anyway, because you're gonna like you're maxing out. You should probably chill out. Rook's runner level requirement, you can use Rook at 0. Don't know why it wasn't that. These are two issues that I saw some clips on. People were able to get some pretty insane movement out of Vandal using these, and there were some like super advantageous things that you can do. So they just got rid of that, or they toned it down a little bit. Fixed an issue where UAC would repeatedly use the same ladder. What idiots. They would freeze and become unresponsive. Contract and waypoint icons. I noticed playing yesterday that some of the ones I had were much easier to like find and locate, so that was nice. The data pads, you have to both bring them to the location. Good and bad. One person can't just take all the loot if both people found the pad, but if one person gets there to like start looting everything, that kind of like helps because you don't all need to have your hand in the cookie jar. Some contracts were butting up against each other. Fixed an issue where the UI could become out of sync between crew members on the same contract during a run. Just some simple stuff, just UI, nothing crazy. Dropships were killing people. Decons were not showing up. This is when dropships were killing people, especially during the lockdown. Which during the lockdown, it's hard to get to the point where the USC dropships are coming in anyway. And so if you get to that point and then die to a dropship, not going to be fun. Stabilization devices and anomalous matter are like events that happen on map, so they're just fixing those a little bit. Flight control has a contract on it that you need to engage AI, and they were fixing that. Achievements, just kind of changing some UI stuff again. I'm not going over anything in the codex. That's lore city, so we'll have a whole other video for that. The revive prompt, waypoints will drift away. Just some few things. When you're in the lobby, it feels a little clunky to move around. I think as people get used to it, it won't feel as clunky, but they're kind of trying to add some things to make it less clunky. Health or shield consumables. If you don't have those, it's going to warn you. Before, it would let you leave with like a gun and a shield and a gun, just that's it, like an ammo, but you didn't really care if you had health or shield. So now it is. The getting pinged on the map, if you ping on the map overhead, it will now be more reliable, which I think is if I ping complex and then I ping a unstable diode, that if I overhead ping the complex and then I ping the unstable diode as well, the complex one should stay. The unstable diode one should be temporary. It shouldn't be a reliable waypoint. Um, just because some pings you're meant to be temporary, some pings aren't. Um, Rewards pass voucher items should no longer appear in your inventory. Okay, I think that's just for inventory space more than anything. Fix an issue where the runner-up rewards screen was sometimes blank. Added ranked in runner connections if you had too many friends. Some store changes, and then this is like the first huge thing in the whole video is the whole patch is consumables, ammo, salvage, grenades now stack at a larger size. And I don't know what the max size is, but some of them are like 15, 16, 17 right now in my vault. And that's awesome. You had 3 stacks, now you have 1. So, quality of life. Keys and backpacks, just cool to see them. Honestly, I didn't even know which ones some of those were keys. I thought they were just like salvage or something. So that's cool. Voice chat fixes, nothing crazy there. Fixed crashing. Ammo crates were like glitching into walls and whatnot, so now they're not glitched into the walls. Good to go. Cardio kick, claymore mines, knife, all small fixes to those things. Nothing really worth talking about too much. And then bang, there we go. Finally, the doof got a nerf, the WSTR combat shotgun, which is the close range double barrel that is super overpowered at close range. Now they made it even more close range gun. That's fine. Apparently, there's another shotgun that people have discovered is really good. I don't even know what shotgun that is. I don't even know. Um, just fixing some other, yeah, the gold mod resetting its counter. Not a me problem, obviously. The drag and drop. Okay, so the drag and drop I was really happy about initially that you could drag and drop the attachments, but if you have a WSTR combat shotgun and then you're looking at one on the ground that has a better attachment and you pick it up and you equip it in your second gun slot and you try to switch the attachments between them so you can dump the shotgun that doesn't have the good attachments and you can keep the one that does, you still can't do that. So that's kind of like I think typically people will have a volley rifle and then find a volley rifle that has one attachment that they want, or they'll find a rifle that has just one attachment that they want. And if you have a full backpack, you have to drop something, put it in your backpack, take it out of your backpack, put it back on the gun, then pick that item up that you dropped. So, I'm sure I'm just whining, but again, that's easy enough to fix, I would think. This right here is a meme. So Opportunist allowed you to have your magazine be refilled if you hit your shot, and it was like a 50% chance or something, and there was another perk that you could have that would increase that chance. And so the shotgun, the double barrel, which is meant to be a 2-shot, you could just infinite roll. And so it would just boom, 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 boom. So developer note, the WSTR videos were indeed funny. They were comical. I mean, it was like something out of like a mod in Fallout. It just like pop, 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 pop from a shotgun, which is hysterical. Thermals continue to be broken, and they're making them even more broken, which is nice. I mean, it's an advantage. If you have one, it's an advantage. If you don't, it's a disadvantage. It's kind of. I didn't notice this yesterday. These are things that remove the health display scramble and the 2D damage indicator effects that happen by victims shot by a weapon with the suppressor attachment. Interesting. It's just too much clutter. Yeah. Cryo has been added but not unlocked, and then some audio changes lowered the range that you can hear other players in combat. So good changes. Everyone really liked these. From what we're seeing, Cryo is a big deal. People are really enjoying kind of getting into that. The process of getting into Cryo and deciphering what we needed to do was a process. So that's a whole nother thing. I'm sure there are people who are much more gifted at that who are making those videos. So I'll roll through this one more time to kind of point out the ones that I think are super important. The first one that I thought important is pretty far down. the patch. I think where is it? It's all the way down. All right, where is it? Where is it? Awesome. All right. So our first big change from the patch, what is it? Patch 1.05 is consumables, ammo, salvage, and grenades now have larger stack sizes in the vault. Big, big, big there. Next big change was the nerf to the shotgun. Not a huge nerf, but it now retains near max damage at point blank range, but then falls off much more quickly after that. And then the third thing that I would go ahead and note is that the drag and drop for weapon attachments. That's always great. Just the faster that you can kind of move around. And then two kind of notable mentions are the opportunist. They got rid of that one. If you haven't seen a clip on that, if you look up like opportunist WSCR shotgun, it's a joke. And then the cryo being opened but not completely done. All right. Well, I appreciate y'all and hope you have a great rest of your day.